First of all, Robert Snodgrass back in the squad. He's been featuring for West Ham. Good to get him back involved.
Yeah, good experience, Robert. When I spoke to him over the summer, very keen to come back on board. So he picked up a little injury last week, so I was a bit nervous, but he's let us know that he's fine, and I think he's on his way to, if he's not already in Newport, he's down there with West Ham tonight. So a few games still to go before we get to the qualifier, so hopefully everyone comes through fit and well.
Grant Hanley starting the season well at Norwich, and Liam Cooper, of course, captaining Leeds. How important do you think they will be for you? And Liam Cooper's not been in the squad for quite a while as well.
No, it's been a while for both of them, to be fair. But Grant, like you say, started the season captain of Norwich, playing Premier League football every week, can only be good for him. Liam's the captain of Leeds, top team in the Championship. I've been to watch Liam this season and was impressed with what I saw. It's nice to get him in the squad. But it's also been a little introduction to international management for me in the last 24 hours. 3 central defenders that I picked the last time all went for a scan, all came back negative. So John Souttar out, Scott McKenna out, Stuart Findlay out through injury, which has opened the door and gives a chance to people like Grant and Liam to come in and stake a claim.
Does this mean you've maybe got more depth perhaps than you thought? The fact that 2 guys who are playing at a top level in England could step straight in? Yeah,
I think the fact that we put those 2, I was actually discussing it last night, and the fact that you're putting 2 players that are playing at that level and playing for their clubs week in, week out just now is a big bonus for us.
How close was Lee Griffiths to making the squad?
Yeah, close. Listen, Lee's got some fantastic attributes. I just look at him just now, and he's come a long way in a short space of time after a very difficult spell in his life. And I feel we should just give him a little bit more time to settle into the role again at Celtic, get himself fully fit, firing. And a fully fit, firing, sharp Lee Griffiths will always be good for us. But at the moment, I just feel it's a little bit too early to push him.
Is this purely your decision? Did you consult Celtic and Neil on that decision?
No, obviously you speak to people about certain individual players to get a little bit of background. But the decision is my decision. That's what I'm paid for.
In terms of the squad itself, there seems to be a real Premier League now feel to this squad. Experiences that they're now getting, top end of the Championship and the Premier League, that must be one that really excites you too.
No, it's good, but it's also important to remember that a lot of the boys that we're talking about as Premier League players have only just arrived in the Premier League, so if they have a full season or a couple of seasons in the Premier League, obviously they're going to get better and better the more often they play at that level. It's great that they're at that level, it's great that they're going to be challenged at that level, and it can only improve them as players. So for now it's good, and in the future I think it'll be even better.
Is one of your main issues, if you were to try and figure out how you fit so many great midfielders into your starting 11?
Yeah, you can see we're quite heavy and we're good in midfield. Lots of good options. As a manager, you want options. Like I said before, there's still for some of the players there's 2 games to go. For other players there's still a game to go. So fingers crossed, no more injuries. And if I've got everyone there, then I've got to make tough decisions. But as a manager, that's what you like to do. It's better than making easy decisions.
Your last Scotland squad came quite quickly after your appointment. Has it been nice to have a bit of time before this one to take a chance to look at exactly what's out there?
Yeah, the last one was a little bit hectic on the back of a long hard season. I needed the 4 weeks holiday, recuperated well, and then got to the middle of July and thought, what do you do now as an international manager? So for me, it's still getting my teeth into the job. It's been good since the start of August. A chance to go out, watch a lot of matches, pick up on a lot of players. What I want to try and do if possible, and it's not always possible, but you want to see how club managers are using the players, how they play for their club, and then when you bring them here, you're trying to fit them into the system that in the way that suits the individual player the best. So it's been good to watch the games and see the players, and like my friend there said, is to see people playing at a really good level, and hopefully we can put on a good show in the 2 games coming up. 2 difficult games for us, really difficult, but 2 games that we're really looking forward to.
How big a change have you found it going from that club management day to day to international management?
It was very strange sitting in the house when all the teams were going back for pre-season training, and you're reading about the pre-season friendlies and whatever. So yeah, a big change. personally for me, but one that I've adapted to reasonably well. I think it will take me a little bit longer to adapt fully.
2 crucial qualifiers. How nice is it to have them both here at Hampden?
Yes, it's 2 really important games for us. I'm going to make a little, not an appeal, but I'm going to say that we're going to need the crowd. We're going to need a big crowd. These 3 games coming up, so the 2 home games against the top 2 teams in the group, and then obviously the next game after that's a trip to Russia. These 3 games, the number of points we get from these games are going to be crucial in the long run. So for the Russia game, I would love it to be a full house. I'm not sure if it will be a full house, but the closer we can get to a full house, that back in would just maybe give the players that extra little bit of lift, that little extra motivation, because we know how crucial these games are, and we're going to be well prepared, and we're going to give it everything we've got to get the points that we need to stay in contention to qualify.
What is your target for these 2 games? When you say it is the top 2 teams in the group, you've got Russia, then you've got Belgium.
Yeah, and 2 teams, don't forget, Russia in the last World Cup were last 8. Looked a very, very good side. I've watched them quite a lot on video over the summer, and they're a good side, they're a handful, they've got a lot of really good players, so we have to be very respectful. But we think here at Hampden, with the backing of a large crowd, we can get something out of that game. Belgium, number 1 team in the world. We got first-hand experience at the end of last season, how difficult it is to play against Belgium. But football's a strange game. You look at the scoreline, it's 3-0 and looks like a bit of a spanking. We didn't deserve to get anything from the game, but there were moments in that game where I thought the team looked good, and in football sometimes if the moment goes for you, you can nick a result against top teams. So that's what we have to look to do in the second game. But here at Hampden, a full crowd, Tartan Army and full voice behind the team, that would give the players a little bit extra, and hopefully we can get close to a full house.
It's set up nicely, isn't it, Steve? Because the dynamics of the group, you're 3 points behind Russia. I think you believe you can still qualify from the group. Therefore, I'm guessing you're feeling it's essential with the backing of the crowd and with that good performance that you win against Russia if you want to qualify from the group.
I don't think you you're talking about Scotland here. I mean, Scotland are the type of country you know better than anybody. You can lose at home to Russia and then go and beat Belgium on the Monday night. So it's not a case of saying it's a must-win. I think it's from the 3 games. However they come, we have to get enough points from the 3 games coming up. Now, whatever order they come in, we have to get enough points to make sure that going into the final 3 games of the group, we're still in contention. So I'm not going to say it's a must-win against Russia, because maybe you draw at home to Russia and you manage to go away and beat them in Russia. These things happen, it's football. So we need some points out of the 3 games. That's as far as I'm prepared to say. How many points we need to qualify out the section, we don't know. We'll try and pick up as many points as we can. Like I say, when we come out the other side of these 3 games, if we're still in contention, then we give ourselves a chance.
Steve, just go back to the conversations you've had with players over the summer. Some of your predecessors have found that there have been players who decided not to make themselves available at various times for international football. Have you had conversations with any players like that at all, or has everyone you've spoken to expressed an enthusiasm to be part of it?
Listen, you have conversation with players. Some want to come back. Other players, maybe at a different stage of their career, are looking after their body or looking after their fitness. International break can be a time to recuperate, especially when you get a little bit older and you get a few more miles in the legs. So obviously not all the conversations have been positive, but those conversations will remain private. I don't close the door on anybody. If players are not available at this moment in time, football is such a transient game that everything can change in the coming weeks and months. So I always leave the door open, and if people want to come and play for us and want to let me know that they're available for selection, then that would be great.
Last 2 questions. Do you feel that Scotland and Russia are fairly evenly matched? The world rankings would suggest that they are, because you're right beside. I think Russia are just above Scotland in the world rankings, which would give you a fair degree of optimism or confidence going into these.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to respect Russia. Obviously, we're not going to play them with any fear. Hopefully we don't go into any game with fear. We have to believe that we can get points from any game that we play in. The world rankings are quite close, but I would say that recently the Russian team has improved a lot. I think in the last World Cup, obviously it was their home finals, but they reached the last 8, and that's that's a pretty good achievement, you know, and they've got good players, and they're a good team. They will be a big challenge, but we'll be ready for the challenge.
Steve, what have you made of Ryan Jack's form this season?
Ryan, I know well from... I was the Kilmarnock manager last season. We played Rangers 7 times, so I saw Ryan up close and personal quite a lot. His form this year is carried on from the form that he had last year. He was invited to join the camp in the summer, but Rangers pulled him out because he had an ankle issue. He started this season very well. I think his form's been good and he deserves his place in the squad.